So welcome to today's video. So like I promised, I was going to talk about all the Fib tools I use, and in the last videos I posted, I talked about the Fibonacci extension, and then I've also talked about the Fibonacci retracements. The next Fibonacci tool I'm going to talk about, which is the third Fibonacci tool I use, is the Fib Speed resistance fund. So I didn't talk about this the last time. If you're having difficulty finding these Fibonacci tools on TradingView, you come to this section here, you click on the third one here, so you click on this arrow and you find the Fib tools here. So this is the Fib retracement, and this is the trend-based Fib extension, right? And the one we are talking about today is the Fib Speed resistance fund. So I'm going to favorite this and add this to my favorites since we'll be looking at that. So the Fib Speed resistance fund is kind of more or less like a fancy trend line of sorts. And I'm going to keep this video very short, and it works best with head and shoulders pattern. So what you are looking for is a pattern like this, a head and shoulders pattern, right? Like that. And you are looking to connect the neckline. So this is the neckline, 1, 2. Normally this is how you trade a head and shoulders pattern. But now what you're going to do is to highlight your second shoulder. And this is the beginning of the move from the downside to the top. So what you do is to take your fan from this end here onto where the highest point of the second shoulder is. And what you're looking for is a breakout of the first level here and a retest of the level. So on a retest, you wait for the retest, you sell here and you take profits, TP1 and TP2. So basically what you are mostly looking for is you're looking for, because this is a slanted line, it is mostly tricky to pinpoint a level to take profit. So you look left and you find a structure that coincides with this level, and that will be your TP, and you find here. And what happens if price breaks here, you get this level here, and price breaks here, you get TP3 here. So this is quite straightforward. But the levels, I might not share the levels, that's not a strict key, but this is your zero, this is your 0, and this is your 236 level. The TP point, you need to backtest and find your own TP point. I set this TP point based on the system I trade. So the decision line is the 236. So it depends on what I'm exactly looking at, because I have another system where the decision line is early instead of 23.6% retracement Fib level. Sometimes I use 11.4. Right, so you can either use 11.4, but the 11.4 will give you an early entry, but it's more risky, and you want to go with a 23.6, and you can find your TP level. Of course, this is the 100%. So from here all the way to this point is 100%. So let's look for some examples, and I'll show you another form where you can use this. So here on GBP USD on the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to mark this level here as the beginning of the trend, and I'll mark this as my left shoulder and right shoulder. This looks tricky. So this is the perfect scenario where you want to use the fan, because if you are drawing a neckline here, it's going to be tricky. You're going to have something like this, which means you're waiting for this. But if you're using the Fib Speed resistance fan, you can go from here to there, and you could get an entry here, or hope that we get a pullback from here to test the fan, and that is your TP level, TP1, and that is your TP2. So it's as simple as that. you find a head and shoulders pattern, wait for the breakout retest, and you have TP1. So if you're using the 11.4 retracement, your entry would be around here. But one thing is, even though it gives you an early entry, most of the time when you get in here, you're most likely going to get in when the trend has not completely reversed, right? So I hope this is simple and it makes sense. Let's look for a couple of examples and I'll show you another kind of scenario. So this is the opposite, right? So if we are looking here, we have a head and shoulder kind of scenario here. So this level here, we have left shoulder, head, and I think I would go for this level here. So then you look at where did this move started from, or this trend started from before it started reversing here. So this is the level here. So what you do is you go for your fund, you go for 1 to this level here. And here, this is a little tricky here because we had a breakout here and we had a pullback inside. So in this case, when we had a pullback inside, that is not a complete retest. So you're waiting for price to break back again, and this will be your entry. So that is TP1 and that is TP2. And on GBP USD, this is, if you have the patience on a 4-hour time frame, that's 106 pips. TP2 is 250 pips. So you see, it's pretty simple and straightforward. So you just need a head and shoulders pattern, and like I said, you backtest and find your own TP levels, right? So for instance, here I have the same kind of scenario here. What I'm looking for is left shoulder, head, and I think I'll kind of go here for my third shoulder here, my second shoulder, sorry, and the beginning of the move is going to be here, right? So you can also use this to establish bias, like you do this on a daily time frame. When we broke in the decision line, then you know you are bullish. You can now look at other strategies to find trade moving in that direction. So here you go from here to here, and you see here there is a perfect break and retest of the fund. So that is your entry, TP1 and TP2, right? Which is pretty neat. Literally no drawdown, 289 pips. So it's like 300 and 600 pips. So that's 900 pips simply by identifying a head and shoulders pattern. You can look left here and you see something neat here too. What do you see? You see shoulder, head, shoulder. You go for 1. So you have a perfect break and retest, TP1, consolidated break and retest, TP2, right? So this is where you are getting into the sell, TP, TP, and this actually gave TP3. Mostly you don't get TP4, so you just ignore it, right? But this was pretty neat. You got TP1, 190 pips, TP2, 350 pips, and TP3, 570 pips. So that's pretty neat, and that is how I kind of use this. But sometimes you don't get, okay, if you're trading multiple pairs, there are always head and shoulders somewhere, like it's everywhere. So here, if you're trading this, you have that and that, and that's your head. So you go from here to here, and you have a break and a retest here. So TP1, TP2, TP3. So sometimes, like especially when it's the trends is not very far away, you don't get as much target, but it's still pretty neat, right? So this is kind of, there is more element to this, and it's covered in my advanced class. I'm not saying come and get advanced class. I'm just telling you where it is. Yeah, so that is a Fib speed resistance fund. I like it because there are head and shoulders everywhere, and this could literally be your strategy, right? This could literally be your strategy, and you're good to go, right? So you go from here to here, perfect break and a retest of the decision line, TP1. So sometimes you get all these big deep retracement, and you have a break up back retest. So you could get two entries here, entry 1 here, entry 2 here, and a smart TP3, right? TP1, TP2, TP3, and that was pretty easy. You just had to wait. TP1, 357 pips, TP2, 700 pips, and this is mostly, we are on this, how do you call it? We are 1000 pips TP3. We are currently on the 4-hour time frame. Let's say you find something neat on a 30 minutes time frame. You can use it on any time frame, but I suggest, especially when you're trading structures, to stick to the higher time frame. Like I always say, structures on the higher time frames are the best. So you always stick to the higher time frame, but you could do this on any time frame that you find a very neat head and shoulders pattern. There's another variation of this. I'm not sure if I'll talk about it in this video. Just stick to head and shoulders, back this, and if it makes sense to you, you could add this to your trading tool. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next video.